Welcome to this month's Church Growth Minute. Today I want to talk about how people see you and your church. And by this I mean, the other day I went to a restaurant and they served up a really great meal. But the problem was that the service was so bad, it made me just not to even want to go back. And so as I left, I could not help wonder how popular or how successful this restaurant would be if they only had put as much effort into their wait staff, into their waitresses and greeters, as they did in their kitchen. Now, let's apply that same concept to the church. Could that be true? Well, without question. Apostolic churches have wonderful saints, and they got vibrant and exciting worship, and they're spirit-filled, and the preaching is powerful. But sometimes we can be guilty of serving up a great meal, so to speak, spiritually, only to have that wonderful spiritual experience overshadowed by poor presentation. Now, what exactly do I mean by this? Well, first let's talk about curb appeal. When somebody drives past your church or when they pull into the parking lot, what do people think when they see your church from the road? Is your signage clean and up to date? Is it clear? Is it well lighted at night? How about your yards and your flower beds? Are they well maintained and free of weeds? The exterior of your church, has it been painted, and is it repaired, and is it attractive? Will the average person, when they look at your church, know that it is a church with just one quick glance? So curb appeal is something we've got to consider when we want to have a good presentation. The next area to consider is your guest reception. So when visitors come to your church, people who've never been there before, do you have doorkeepers at the front door so that they can help the door with people who have children and diaper bags and so on? Do you have a portico to allow people to drop folks off in the rain? And if you don't have a portico or some kind of a rain shield that people can drop folks off, is there an umbrella brigade that runs umbrellas out to each person when they arrive? Are there hostesses when they walk in the door to greet all of the guests? And are they pleasant? And do they smile? Have they been well trained? Do you have a guest packet that you can give to all of your visitors? Do you get a guest card on each guest so that you're able to effectively follow up upon them? Do you have ushers on hand to greet the guests and to help them find a seat on the main aisle about halfway down? Your guest reception is critical. You only have just a short period of time to consider whether somebody will ever return to your church. Another area of consideration is your worship services. And so they should flow and they should be vibrant and dynamic. Is the service well planned and free of dead space? Is the music as good as it possibly can? That meaning it's been well practiced and it's not too loud. And we've got to understand that sometimes our volume perceptions are very, very different from that of someone who has not been raised in Pentecost. Are the songs and the choruses projected up on a screen so that everybody can participate in the song service? That's very important because otherwise, since we sing mostly choruses and we don't have songbooks, well, people who are visitors can become just observers and not participators in the church service. Another area of consideration is your church nursery. A nursery is something that is very important if you want young couples to feel comfortable in your church, and so they're not struggling with children throughout the entire service and get almost nothing out of the service because of such. So we need to ask ourselves, is our nursery clean? Is it well stocked and is it well staffed? Do you have sound and or video of the service available in the nursery so that when somebody has to take their child there, they don't totally miss out on the worship service? And then, of course, is your nursery easy to find? Because if they have to search all over for it, they're probably not going to use it. The point here is that we need to always keep in mind that 100% of our new converts come from our first-time guests. I want to say that again to make that point strong. 100% of your new converts come from your first-time guests. You only get one chance to make a good first impression. So your church needs to serve up a great spiritual meal, and they need to do it with the style that reflects the glory and the greatness of our God. Thank you for being a part of this month's Church Growth Minute.